once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Unit 3 Magnetic Effects of Current and Magnetism for class 12, and the topic which we are going to discuss is to find the value of magnetic field at any point on the axial line of a current carrying circular loop. So first of all, we need to consider a circular loop such that I current is flowing through this circular loop in an anti-clockwise direction, and let us consider the radius of this circular loop to be small a. So small a is the radius of this current carrying circular loop, and we will draw an axial line that is passing through the center of the ring or a loop, such that P is the point of observation where we have to calculate the magnetic field which is lying at distance x from the center of the current carrying circular loop. Now we will divide this current carrying loop into infinite number of equal parts such that the length of each part is same, as we cannot study the whole loop in one go. So now we will consider a current element IDL, that is I current is passing through the small length DL, and we will connect this current element to the point of observation such that the distance between the point of observation and the current element is taken as R, as R is equal to root a square plus x square, which is calculated by applying Pythagoras theorem. Now we need to find the value, or we need to find the direction of magnetic field which is produced at point P due to current element IDL. So if we will apply a right hand curl rule, that is according to right hand curl rule, if we place the thumb of our right hand in the direction of flow of current and we will curl the fingers, that is we will curl the fingers, then we will find that fingers are pointing in the upward direction. That is magnetic field, small magnetic field produced by a small current element IDL will be pointing in this direction as it is shown in this picture. Now if this is the direction of magnetic field dB, it is acting along the tangent, that is line joining the current element and the point of observation. So it is making 90-degree angle. Let us say alpha is the angle subtended by the current element at point P. Now we will draw a perpendicular axis such that we have to calculate the angle which dB is making. Now this angle is 90-degree and this remaining angle is alpha, so the remaining angle is taken as 90 minus alpha. So this is 90 minus alpha angle. Also we have found that the angle between the line joining and dB is 90-degree. Therefore let us say if this is 90 minus alpha and the remaining angle is x, then we have to calculate x such that 90 minus alpha plus x is equal to 90-degree, or minus alpha plus x is equal to 90 minus 90 is equal to 0, or x is equal to alpha. So that means dB is making an angle alpha along the y-axis. If dB is making an angle alpha along y-axis, that means it could be divided into two components, along x-axis and along y-axis. The component of dB along y-axis will be dB cos alpha, and the component of dB along x-axis will be taken as dB sin alpha. Now this part of the diagram is completed, and now we will have to consider a diametrically opposite point, because the direction of current in the diametrically opposite point is changed, that is it is reversed. Therefore let us join the diametrically opposite point of observation, that is our current element IDL, and join current element with the point of observation P. Again we will be having this distance R, which will be calculated with the help of Pythagoras theorem, that is root a square plus x square. Now the direction of current is opposite in as it was in the previous case. So again applying right hand curl rule, if we place the fingers, if we place the thumb in the direction of flow of current and curl our fingers, the direction of dB is in this direction as it is again shown in the figure. Now this, let us say this is dB dash, as the distance is a and x, therefore R is again root a square plus x square as it was in the previous case. Similarly in this case we will be having angle alpha because the same triangles are there. This is angle 90-degree, so we have this remaining angle as 90 minus alpha, but we are interested to find the angle which dB dash is making with the y-axis. As this total angle is 90 90 degree. Therefore we have, let us say this is angle X again or Y again. So 90 minus alpha plus y is forming total angle of 90 degree. That is 90 minus alpha plus y is equal to 90 degree. Therefore minus alpha plus y is equal to 90 minus 90 is equal to 0. That is minus alpha plus y is equal to 0 degree, or we can say y is equal to alpha. That means here we are having alpha, that is db dash is again making an angle alpha with the y-axis but in downward direction. So the component is db dash cos alpha along the negative y-axis and db dash sin alpha along the positive x-axis. So now this diagram is completed and we have understood the 3D figure of this consideration. Now we need to find the value of magnetic field at point of observation, and in order to do that, let us say dB is the magnetic field due to small current element and dB dash is the magnetic field due to small current element taken along the diametrically opposite point. So magnetic field due to diametrically opposite small current element. And now what we need to do, we have to apply Biot-Savart law in order to calculate the magnitude of magnetic field. As we have already calculated the direction, so we have to calculate the magnitude. So in order to find the magnitude, we will apply Biot-Savart law, and according to Biot-Savart law, we have dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL sin theta upon r square. Now here the angle between current element and the line joining the current element is 90 degrees. So this angle is 90 degree. Therefore we have dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi. Instead of writing sin theta, we will write sin 90. So dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL sin 90 divided by r square, and value of r square is already calculated by making a diagram, that is under root of a square plus x square. So instead of writing r, we will put under root a square plus x square whole square. Now solving this equation, we are left with dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL, as sin 90 is 1, so it will remain as it is, upon a square plus x square, and under root is cancelled out. Let us put it in brackets and mark this equation as equation number 1, because we are going to use this equation in our further steps. Now we have to find the value of dB dash, because dB dash is a diametrically opposite point. dB dash is a magnetic field due to diametrically opposite current element. So for diametrically opposite current element, we have dB dash is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi. Conditions are again same, the only difference is the direction of current is different. So direction of current is different, therefore IDL sin theta upon r square. Similarly, we are having theta is equal to 90 degree and r is equal to root a square plus x square. Therefore substituting these values in the above equation, we have dB dash is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL sin 90 upon under root of a square plus x square whole square, or we can say mu naught upon 4 pi IDL upon a square plus x square, which is our equation number 2. Now from equation number 1 and equation number 2, it is clear to us that dB is equal to dB dash, but these are equal in terms of magnitude only. These are not equal in terms of direction, these are equal in terms of magnitude only. So I have written dB is equal to dB dash in terms of magnitude, but directions of dB and dB dash are not same. And now what we have to consider from this diagram, from the diagram we are clear that the direction of dB cos alpha is opposite to dB dash cos alpha. If dB and dB dash are equal, then I can say dB cos alpha is equal to dB dash cos alpha, but only in terms of magnitude. So dB cos alpha is equal to dB cos alpha, again directions are opposite, so these are going to cancel each other's effect. So dB cos alpha components are going to cancel out each other, so all the dB cos alphas have cancelled each other's effect. Therefore, from diagram, all dB cos alpha will cancel each other's effect. And now dB sine alpha and dB dash sine alpha, they are acting along the x-axis. They are acting along the positive x-axis. Therefore, total magnetic field will be due to dB sine alpha components. As we have divided this ring into infinite number of equal parts, therefore all dB sine alphas will be acting in the same direction, that is along the positive x-axis. Therefore, we have to add all dB sine alpha components. That means we cannot add infinite number of components with the summation sign, so we have to integrate dB sine alpha components, that is integral dB sine alpha, and putting the value of dB, that is mu naught upon 4 pi idl upon a square plus x square sine alpha. Now we have to find the value of sine alpha. In order to find the value of sine alpha, that is trigonometric function sine alpha, let us consider this triangle. From here we have sine alpha is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, and perpendicular is radius of the ring, that is a, and hypotenuse is r. So we have a upon root a square plus x square, which is value of sine alpha, that is sine alpha is equal to a upon root a square plus x square. So we will put this value in this integral, that is we have dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I, and taking mu naught upon 4 pi I of integral, then we have mu naught upon 4 pi I integral dl upon a square plus x square. Substituting the value of sine alpha, a upon under root of a square plus x square. Now we can take another terms out of the integral as well. So this is a square plus x square. Now we have b is equal to mu naught I upon 4 pi I a upon a square plus x square whole raised to power 1 plus 1 by 2. Here we are having power 1 and a square plus x square is having power 1 by 2 if we remove the under root sign. So if bases are same, then powers are added up. So a square plus x square raised to power 1 plus 1 by 2 integral dl. So we have b is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I a upon a square plus x square whole raised to power 3 by 2. And now integral of dl, if we will add up all these small lengths, all these small dl portions, we will be getting a circle such that if we add up these small lengths, we will get a circumference of a circle. Therefore, integral of dl gives us the circumference of circle, which is 2 pi a, and therefore solving this equation we have b is equal to cancelling out pi and 2 with 4, we have b is equal to mu naught I a square upon 2 into a square plus x square whole raised to power 3 by 2, which is the expression for the magnetic field on the axial line of a current carrying circular loop. So this is the final expression which we are having, but we will modify this expression by discussing the special cases. So let us discuss the first special case, that is if point of observation, that is P point is lying on the center of the loop. If point of observation lies at center, then x will be equal to 0, and if x is equal to 0, then we have b is equal to mu naught I a square upon 2 a square plus 0 square whole raised to power 3 by 2. And solving and simplifying this equation, we are left with mu naught I a square upon 2 a square whole raised to power 3 by 2. Cancelling it out, we are left with b is equal to mu naught I a square upon 2a cube, and cancelling a square with a cube, we are left with mu naught I upon 2a, which is the value of magnetic field at the center of current carrying circular loop. Now we will be discussing the second special case, that is if we are having a point of observation lying at a very large distance such that the radius of ring is very small as compared to the distance of point of observation from the center of the loop, such that x is very greater than a. So that means A could be ignored in comparison to X. Therefore, we will not put A is equal to 0 in numerator. We will just put A is equal to 0 in denominator, because as compared to X, A is small. So therefore, we will change this expression such that we will put A is equal to 0. We have B is equal to mu naught upon mu naught IA square upon 2 into 0 square plus x square whole raised to power 3 by 2, which is rewritten as B is equal to mu naught IA square upon 2 into x square whole raised to power 3 by 2, cancelling out 2. So we are left with B is equal to mu naught IA square upon 2x cube, which is the final expression for the magnetic field when point of observation on the axial line of a circular loop is lying at a very large distance, such that this distance is quite large in comparison to the radius of the ring. So also we can modify this expression if we want to write it in the form of mu naught upon 4 pi. So mu naught IA square upon 2a square plus x square into raised to power 3 by 2. We will multiply it by 2 pi and we will divide it by 2 pi. So this expression could be modified to B is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IA square upon a square plus x square whole raised to power 3 by 2 whole multiplied by 2 pi. So this is the other form in which we could write the expression. And this is all about the article which we have discussed today. So I hope you have understood this article completely. Now we need to find the direction of magnetic field. So article is over. We have found the magnitude of magnetic field at a point, but we need to calculate the direction, the overall direction. So as the current was flowing in the anti-clockwise direction, and if we will apply right hand curl rule in the upper portion of the wire at this point, then we will find that the fingers are turning in an anti-clockwise direction. So let us mark this magnetic field in an anti-clockwise direction. And if we apply same right hand curl rule in the downward direction, then again on curling the fingers, we will find that the fingers are curling in a clockwise direction. So if the fingers are turning in a clockwise direction, let us mark this direction as a clockwise direction. So the upper pole where the fingers are turning anti-clockwise, that means it is constituting to the north pole of the magnet, and the lower terminal is acting as the south pole of the magnet. Again, if we will complete the arrowheads, let us draw the arrowheads to complete the anti-clockwise direction and to complete the clockwise direction. We will find that the net direction is towards the right hand side. So the net magnetic field has the overall direction along the positive x-axis. So the direction of magnetic field which is generated on the axial line of a current carrying circular loop is along the axis of the circular coil. So this is all about today's article. I hope you have understood. If yes, then do not forget to press like, subscribe and share button, and do press the bell icon in order to get the latest notification.